Minister's sharpest and fiercest attack on the opposition. He said the opposition is directionless. The opposition plans to sit in opposition for really long and that they have no intention to come to power.
Now, the gloves are clearly off over Manipur as well in the parliament, as we saw yet again. The night-long dharna by the opposition parties inside the parliament complex was met by a stinging counter by the Prime Minister. Remember, the opposition parties have demanded a statement by the Prime Minister, followed by a debate.
Well, they have stalled the parliament and taken their stir to the streets. Prime Minister said that merely having India in their name does not make them represent the nation. In fact, he pointed out that Britishers too call themselves the East India Company. He also reminded that PFI and even Indian Mujahideen have India in their names.
प्रधानमंत्री ने जो कहा है उसमें यही है कि तो उन्होंने ईस्ट इंडिया और कई इसमें कहा है, बाद में डिटेल आपको दिया जाएगा.
He has only stated a fact. East India Company established by English people. Indian National Congress established by your English people. Indian Mujahideen terrorist organization. Popular Front of India banned terrorist organization. Let me tell you today, with all firmness at my command, and I'm a hopeful person, in the next election when the Lok Sabha will be constituted, their number is going to go down further and further.
Guest joining us this afternoon, Karan Verma, author, as well as Anirban Banerjee, political analyst. But before that, I want to go across to Mohit Bhatt, our colleague who's joining us. Mohit, clearly now that the battle lines have been drawn, the attention now shifting from a discussion on Manipur to the attack that has come in from the Prime Minister.
Well, yes, Pratibha, and it's a strong and perhaps the most vocal attack by the Prime Minister on the name INDIA, which has been kept by the opposition as their alliance name. Now, the Prime Minister in the BJP parliamentary meet, and it was a meeting, a very important meeting, called to strategize that what exactly would be BJP's plan of action in the remaining session that has, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in that particular parliamentary party meet stated that opposition has completely gone directionless. He has not seen ever in his career opposition which is so directionless, and he goes on to say that even East India Company had India in the name. Indian Mujahideen also has India in their name, but merely having India in their name does not represent India. And after that, we have seen strong reactions coming in from the opposition parties, where basically say that why exactly PM is bothered about name of India.
Absolutely.
And the opposition
Mohit,
parties.
stay on with us. We also are joined by Siddharth. He'll get us more updates on the reactions coming in from the opposition. But let's quickly take a reaction from our guest, Anirban Banerjee. This is the fiercest, perhaps the sharpest attack coming in from the Prime Minister, saying this opposition is directionless. Also saying that, even the East India Company, the PFI and the Indian Mujahideen have India in their names. This keeping the name of the opposition as INDIA does not mean that you represent the nation.
First of all, the BJP has got Bharatiya and Janata in its name. And during its last 9 years of rule under Narendra Modi, we have completely seen that this is the most anti-Bharat party. This is the most anti-Janata, anti-common man party that has ever been in independent India. Therefore, in a way, he is right. Just by putting a name, you don't really become part of that name. And that has been very well represented by the BJP. But in this case, what Mr. Modi should be reminded of is that INDIA is a political alliance for the people, of the people and by the people, and the BJP in this case is fighting against the people because under its rule,
in fact, the opposition has turned the tables on the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has often said that the hatred for the Prime Minister has turned the opposition's hatred to India, and now similar attack coming in from the opposition leaders after the Congress party. Now we have the RJD that has taken to Twitter to say the same, and this is what they've tweeted.
I believe Siddharth is getting us more details on that. Yes, Siddharth, over to you.
Yes, so the Rashtriya Janata Dal has come out with a rejoinder to the Prime Minister's statement, accusing him of singling out deliberately to malign the India alliance, references to the Popular Front of India and also the Indian Mujahideen. So here's what the RJD has said. It's very shameful that the Indian Prime Minister remembers only the Indian Mujahideen and the PFI on the mention of INDIA, but not ISRO, AIMS, IIT, IIM, IISc, NPCIL, IAS, IPS, IFS, IAF, Indian Army, Indian Navy and the ITBP, or even his own designation. I see what your mind is capable of thinking. That's the charge coming on the part of the RJD, a constituent of this INDI alliance.
Right. Let's take a comment from Karan Verma on the same. Karan Verma, how do you respond to this tweet coming in from the RJD?
You know, everyone is reiterating the same thing, that nothing really comes out of a name. You can keep a name anything. आप गधे को घोड़ा बोलने से वो घोड़ा नहीं बन जाता, as the old adage goes in Hindi. So they can keep their name India or whatever they want. It doesn't make them Indian. When they betray their own mandates, when they know that TMC is responsible for many of the Congress Karyakartas being brutally massacred in West Bengal, and they go and form an alliance with the same Mamata Banerjee, and they don't even mention that, this shows what kind of an alliance this is. This alliance lacks conviction. All they have at the core of it is Modi hatred. They are not even responsible for women's security. What is happening in Rajasthan? I agree, what has happened in Manipur is abominable. Why don't they discuss in the parliament the issue of women's security? Why are they stalling the parliament today? Why do they want the Prime Minister to first make a statement? Let's have a complete discussion on women's security. But you will not do
Anirban, a quick comment from your end. Also, Karan Verma, if there is nothing in the name, then why did the BJP actually choose to attack the opposition when they named themselves INDI? I'll come back to you with that question, but let's take a rebuttal from Anirban. Go ahead.
Actually, the BJP, the India Alliance has got the BJP running for a cover. First time in the last 8 or 9 years, they suddenly remembered the name NDA. And my good friend Karan is saying, why do the opposition need the Prime Minister to make a statement? I mean, come on. Whenever there is anything happening in the country, it's the Prime Minister who makes a statement. Whether it's the launch of a space shuttle.
Let's have a discussion on the merits.
Karan, let me complete. Karan, let me complete, please. Whenever there are cheetahs coming in from South Africa, from Africa, the Prime Minister makes a statement, but when they die, of course, he runs away. But whenever anything happens in the country, the Prime Minister is out there to make a statement. But whenever it comes to making a statement in the parliament on issues that actually matter, we don't get the Prime Minister anywhere, not in the parliament, not in the press conference. In the last 9 years, he has attended not a single press conference.
Prime Minister is rattled by the questions that the opposition is asking. There's no opposition unity, and that's the reason why the Prime Minister is rattled, because there is opposition unity. In fact, needless to say, the opposition also seems to be irate at the parallel that has been drawn by the Prime Minister. They say that he does not know the difference between invaders and democratically elected representatives of the opposition. Listen into this reaction.
देखिए, मैं एक एक चीज का जवाब दूंगा। पहली बात तो बीजेपी ने खुद ही अपने ट्विटर हैंडल पे लिखा है कि वो बीजेपी फॉर इंडिया है, और दूसरी बात ये कि जहां तक प्रधानमंत्री का सवाल है, प्रधानमंत्री अगर अपने पुरखों को याद करते हैं तो इसमें कोई बुरी बात नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री के पुरखों का गहरा रिश्ता ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी से रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री के पुरखों का गहरा रिश्ता अंग्रेजों से रहा है, अंग्रेजों की गुलामी करते थे। मैं आपको उदाहरण से बता रहा हूं, और आप मांगिएगा बीजेपी वालों से, चिट्ठी नहीं देंगे तो मैं दूंगा। 1942 में श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी ने चिट्ठी लिखी है अंग्रेज गवर्नर को, और कहा है, हुजूर, ये 42 का भारत छोड़ो आंदोलन कुचल दो, हम आपके साथ हैं।
इंडिया जो है, चाहे हम उसको भारत कहें चाहे इंडिया कहें, ठीक है ना, तो इंडिया जो नाम है वो तो हमारे देश के सम्मान का बात है। तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर अगर ऐसी बात करेंगे तो मैं कहता हूं ये बात कोई जचती नहीं है।
As far as mocking and deriding the name of our alliance by saying that certain separatist organizations also carry the name India is actually rather churlish. I mean, India is our country, and the idea of India is what this alliance is wanting to preserve. So the Prime Minister wants to dismiss us this much. It clearly shows that he's paying notice and paying attention to our formation. Anyway, nomenclatures and anagrams don't matter. It is only ideas which matter. And the people of India will decide whether they want a secular, constitutionally democratic form of government, or a divisive government which the NDA has been giving so far.
देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो इंडिया का कंपैरिजन इंडियन मुजाहिदीन से किया है, ये भारत का, ये इंडिया का, ये इंडिया शब्द का अपमान है। प्रधानमंत्री जी को जब आज पूरा विपक्ष कह रहा है कि सामने आओ और बताओ कि ये मैसेकर मणिपुर में कैसे हुआ, प्रधानमंत्री जी आपको इंडिया से समस्या हो गई ना। प्रधानमंत्री जी, हम आपकी समस्या समझते हैं, लेकिन उससे पहले सदन में आइए। ये जो आपने मीडिया बैन करके मणिपुर में जो मैसेकर किया है, ईसाइयों के कत्लेआम जो आपने किया है, बेटियों के साथ जो कुछ हुआ है, सीधे आके जवाब दीजिए वहां पर।
So the opposition has raised two issues. One is saying that the Prime Minister or the NDA is rattled, which is why they're attacking the name. And second, saying that this is an attack on India. The Prime Minister, when he makes such statements, is attacking the entire country. Karan?
You know, this reminds of that old thing, India is Indra, Indra is India, and it backfired big time. These people are only bound together by corruption. Each of them has their own corruption scam. Somebody has a Sharda, somebody has a National Herald. So when they say that we represent India, India is far greater than the corruption of these thugs which are united together. These nepotistic thugs who are only united by corruption and ambition. Even their state units, the Punjab unit and the Delhi unit of AAP is against the Congress alliance, but they are doing it. They are even disrespecting their volunteers who've laid their lives in West Bengal.
Okay.
So the Prime Minister is right when he says they do not represent India. And look at the irresponsible statement made by Mr. Jamai. He's saying Christian massacre. These are the people who are increasing this hysteria which is causing the violence. They should be very responsible when they speak like this.
Okay, should be responsible while making such statements. Anirban, your response to what Karan said. Also, you know, the government is saying time and again that we are ready to discuss Manipur in the House. It's the opposition which keeps on changing the goalpost.
See, calling elected representatives and political activists and political party leaders as thugs is a clear symbol of a spineless creature. Having said that, calling corruption or speaking on corruption from BJP.
Or someone is out on bail,
Karan, let me complete.
I will double down and say they are thugs.
I did not intervene when you were speaking. Please have some decency. I know it's difficult for you, but have some decency. I know it's difficult for you.
No, I am having
but still you can try.
Calling them
please don't intervene. Please don't intervene. Please don't be so indecent.
Yeah.
Please don't be so indecent. In this case, regarding corruption, just 2 days, I think it was not even 2 days before Ajit Pawar was inducted into the ministry, when Mr. Modi called him a corrupt person, a corrupt politician. And what was the charge? What were the charges brought by the ED? There was a charge sheet presented against Mr. Ajit Pawar, right? If I'm not very wrong. And days after Prime Minister calls him a corrupt man, he has been inducted in the ministry of the BJP government. There are numerous examples from Shubhendu Adhikari to Himanto Biswa Sharma to Narayan Rane to Mr. Ajit Pawar. So what does the BJP have to say about that?
Okay, so you're saying if this is a grouping of corrupt individuals, why have they been welcomed in the government in Maharashtra and the BJP? Thank you very much to both our guests, Karan Verma and Anirban Banerjee, for joining us on the debate.